Nigeria's ride-hailing market seems ripe for disruption. The drivers want lower commissions, and the riders want lower fares. This is the right time for a new app to swoop in and change the game. However, since 2014, about 2,500 apps have launched, and most of them have actually vanished. These numbers are from Ibrahim Ayode, who has led the country's Union for App-based Drivers for over a decade now.
Nearly every month, at times, the new app come to the system, and when they come to the system, and they will try to how we will manage the market so that they can have the share of the market. With experience and what I know in the industry is that that 2014, 15, 16, that ecosystem, I can categorically say that the record are 2,500 across Nigeria.
So, why do these apps keep crashing and burning? The more popular answer is that these new platforms are unable to outspend the bigger players like Uber, Bolt, and InDrive. However, lack of funding is only half of the story. The real hurdle isn't just cash, it's in creating and scaling a network effect. Network effect is simple but powerful. The more people use the platform, the more valuable it becomes and the more it pulls users in. More drivers means more riders, and more riders means more drivers. This feedback loop is what keeps players like Uber, Bolt at the top of their game. But here's the catch. Building that loop is incredibly hard and insanely expensive. Every ride-hailing startup faces a chicken and egg problem. Riders won't use your platform unless there are drivers, and drivers won't stay on the app unless there are steady streams of riders. So how do you fix this? Experts say it's best to start by building an atomic network, the smallest possible network where there are enough drivers and riders who are having a good experience enough to keep coming back to the app. Uber nailed this by first launching only on the island in Lagos. Both targeted smaller cities like Enugu and Abeokuta, where Uber was not a dominant player at the time. After finding a location, the next hurdle is finding drivers. Think of drivers on the app as inventory in a supermarket. You want people to always find what they need when they walk into the store. Early platforms like eTransit and EasyTaxi had to invest a lot of resources in training drivers. They even bought them smartphones. When Uber launched, it partnered with banks to finance vehicles for drivers. When Bolt launched in Nigeria, it simply offered lower commissions. When InDrive came, it offered the feature that allowed drivers to negotiate their fares with riders. It's much more easier than before to source drivers and riders. But here's the kicker, it's a lot more difficult than ever to keep them faithful to your new platform. This is because drivers multi-home, jumping from one app to another to find the best gigs. And the riders, they only use the cheapest option. There is no loyalty in this system. Locking everyone into your app is what makes ride-hailing a money pit. Even Uber, the global giant, has lost billions trying to make this work. They only became profitable in 2023, about 14 years after launch. Bolt claims it makes profits in some areas, but in Nigeria, we don't know. However, it has poured over $150 million into this market. Nigeria's ride-hailing market seems to be an easy win. There are low barriers to entry. I mean, let's build an app, right? Wrong. Winning means building and scaling a network city by city. That costs a lot of money. Even then, you must defend the network. That is even a lot more expensive. It's not about who has the sleekest app, it's about who has the deepest pockets, the best strategy, and the grit to keep defending their network. And even then, in a market this cutthroat, there's no guaranteed win. So when you book a ride next time, think about the invisible network making it happen. And also spare a thought for the apps that couldn't make it this far.